Yo, what's going on, guys? Okay, yeah, I know I sound like Ian77, but we are back with another nurse set actually on Sanctum of Wrath. Watching the upper bracket 2 of Season 2 of Bloodlust League, where we have Bleedout's nurse, this is their pick by the way, versus Hurricane Survivors, and JD opting to go with like the kind of like leverage build here with the typical eruption ruin, which is quite useful in a 3v1. But actually immediately finding Mallow. This is quite early for the first survivor to be found, I would say. We're around 40 seconds in, and JD actually missing the second blink there, slightly short on the max distance second blink. So Mallow will be able to make it to this interesting tile here, but unfortunately we'll just hold W away from it. Maybe just trying to make edge map just to make sure that the death spot is as optimal as possible so that the other survivors can work generators. Now, in this map, it is a choke point map, so if you do die near the middle of the map, it kind of can be a bit difficult to try and get your rotations in. So dying this far edge map does mean that our survivors have had ample time to rotate onto generators, and we even see some missed skill checks on main. I don't know what's going on, but maybe let's hope that that was the Deliverance survivor that was rotating off just at the wrong moment, getting a skill check as that happened. So we'll be yeah losing 10% progress for that, and also an eruption proc on that. Notice how the ruin is gone. So eruption is now active. So for this first chase, not really seeing much going on, but actually we do see an Adam instead of the gen progress going on. This will be, actually I can't really tell the exhaustion from that, but from that overcommit, I would say, or just committal to the Adam and the tag, we will see the unhook come in onto Mallow. So that must have been Veggie getting the pull onto Mallow there. I would assume that's the Deliverance survivor and the one with the medkit. So these other two survivors might be caught a little bit out of position on the shack side of the map, without any means to reset themselves directly. That, of course, maybe if they had a in the strength active, they would be able to, but otherwise they're kind of stuck injured, and it's kind of up to the team whether they will cross to the other side of the map to try and get another side to reset them. But we see the reset onto Mallow come into the distance. That was actually a relatively fast reset, understanding that leverage was in play, which reduces the healing speed after the unhook by 50%. So actually, even if Will Make It was in play, that would be the full 16 seconds heal. Now, we see JD again holding this midsection, looking out for our Tori Kane, which is a everyday pizza here. It was the Tori whom they injured just before, and no eyes on them since. So they could have rotated, or they could still be on this part of the map. And JD does smell it out that the Tori is on Shack somewhere. But is this the case though? And seems not to be, because they head back to which is what you generally want to be doing. This will actually be a trade here. Tori actually going for 1-for-1. I'm not sure exactly if this is a great play here, because we know that the other two survivors were probably on the other side of the map working generators for this, but now one of them has to rotate, so it kind of might get a little bit iffy here, because the nurse might have been able to catch someone rotating, but instead decides to pick up Soiv. I'm not entirely sure. So 1v1, I'll just call them. Decides to pick them up since they are the one that has been hooked before, and Mallow has been reset, so kind of Mallow is a little bit more difficult to tunnel than the injured Adam here, which will be put onto the second hook. Yet to see a generator get finished, so I'm not entirely sure what is going on. Perhaps just the accelerated time of the unhooking, and just the nurse being able to kind of force the survivor's hand meant that the Nia has not really been able to get this first generator done until I just said that, and the first generator is complete. We do see our Deliverance survivor just crouching on the bridge. And I think they have to go for 1-for-1 here. And actually, the ping, I think that was the ping from the OC servers to I believe EU, meaning that the trade does not even happen. If anyone out there is unaware, if you try and perform any action, the delay on the action is immediately accounted for to the ping. So EU to OS would be around 250 to 300. So they'd have to wait around 250 milliseconds before the unhooking would even start. And then within that time, also the kind of like from the OS server side, it's slightly delayed as well. So there's kind of like double ping problems for our survivors here, and that is kind of crucial for our nurse because that denial of the trade there will allow so 1v1 to perhaps down hook, or unless they want to go for a one for one of these healthy survivors, which is a bit risky here again. I would assume that this Nia is the oh no, is that a missed skill check on hook? I was going to say I was assumed that the Nia is the unbreakable survivor, but turns out the unbreakable won't even have to be used because our Adam just dies on hook and no trade will happen at all. And then JD decides to pick up Veggie here, and I'm not entirely sure if this is necessary since it's highly likely that Veggie or Veggie is our Deliverance survivor. They got their first unhook, and likely he's going to be Deliverance because they tried to go for one. But I guess if they're trying to play around Unbreakable, that would make some sense. But that might not have been the case anyway. So the unhook Deliverance occurs onto Veggie. We see that broken status effects take place, and we also see some scratch marks, but opting to kick the generator first for option, but unfortunately now just kind of just loses the survivor that was on this generator, which I believe must have been Tori. But I wasn't really paying attention to whether there was blood. So unfortunately, our nurse also just cannot find them. So we'll have to leave, going back to the unhook, and actually see a reset onto Mallow here. So that was perhaps yeah, it could not have been Will Make It reset. So it would have been the full healing speed. But we do find Mallow back here stealthing on the temple, trying to rotate in for this generator, which has been erupted, so is now regressing. But actually we do know that Veggie is around somewhere working a generator on the shack side of the map because the broken status effect is just worn out. And that means that the around 60 seconds of deliverance has expired. So the reset would have come in onto Everyday Pizza, and then they would have started working a generator on the shack side of the map. Being injured, of course, you cannot be working main. But actually, we do go into Slug on Everyday Pizza, and just as I say that, Veggie does get reset. So that was the medkit going in for the reset on themselves. So they have not, in fact, been working a generator, or if they had been working a generator, they stopped it to reposition and reset themselves. Preferably, I would say out of the line of sight, but we do see some scratch marks, I think, or that was just a hook. So, yeah, I think Reggie's around here somewhere, and Nurse trying to look for that, but yeah, not being able to find it. So they'll just head back. Good blink from our Nurse JD here. Actually, angling it such that they would not hit the walls. They're getting nice extra distance from that. Again, anyone out there, if you don't know, the nurse cannot blink through the edge map walls, so it is a bit of a hassle sometimes on our choke point maps. Most notably, we have Suffocation Pit and as well as Resting Place as our main choke point maps, as well as Sanctum of Wrath 1, which is the map which we're playing on right now, which the trial has indeed been going on for quite a while. But yes, you cannot blink through edge map walls. So good angling there from JD, understanding that. But we took the tag onto Zarina and just leave again. I feel like our nurse should be committing a little bit more. If our nurse sorry if our nurse allows the survivors to just play a tennis match, there might indeed be a chance for them to pop a generator, which is pretty inevitable. But why allow them to pop a generator when you can just secure a down, if you know what I mean? If you can secure a down and just keep the pressure going, it's guaranteed that maybe a generator could pop for the progress, but might if you slug and then play hit and run, and they manage to reset and just keep the 8 regressions for the killer, they just keep on ticking that up. Then killer is forced to eventually commit to someone anyway, and at what cost of the generative repairs? So I'd say JD now should just be trying to commit for a chase, but seems like we've caught our injured Zavina here out of position on the generator. We saw Mallow just running in the open, trying to distract our nurse. But of course, if you see a survivor running in the open like that, especially against an S tier killer, there has to be a reason, right? Trying to distract the killer from something. So making the right read there, does JD, and does find Azvina, and they are going to be put onto the second hook. I believe here, Everyday Pizza is fresh, so Reggie is on the second stage, Mallow's on the first, and Everyday Pizza is on the first. Sorry, on zero hooks. But actually, we see the double on this Shack generator come through, and that means that, of course, that both survivors are there, and they've taken 2 health states for it. And I don't think this will be. I don't think our Nia here will be able to. Okay, or they will be able to get the unhook onto Zarina. So this game will be going on for slightly longer, but I would say that it is kind of a wrap at this point because we know where all these survivors are, and they're both injured as well. So it's a bit pointless to try and stealth out. But JD is actually finding a bit of trouble um, trying to locate both or any one of the 2 injured survivors here, and yeah, it just seems like maybe the breaking of the LOS there has allowed them both to split up and kind of like get away. But does find Mallow at the edge map on this other. I actually pretty sure it's called the garden. The tile's called a garden here. But anyway, does find Mallow, gets quick down onto them, and we saw Everyday Pizza get picked up in the background. I would guess that that was not unpickable. So our survivors here probably are together, and JD does take the time to apply our eruption onto this generator on the edge map. This is actually a generator which has been on pretty high progress throughout the entire match, but our survivors have just not been able to pop it, which is kind of a big deal because when we're looking at 4K3 versus a 4K2 win condition is or just a tie condition in general, it's very it's much more difficult to get an extra generator done. So actually, we'll just take hook onto Tori, I believe. Yes, we will be picking up Tori and slapping them on the hook, applying the eruption on that generator, and we do see the reset onto Mallow come in as well. So actually, our survivors have managed to recover this due to JD losing the Nia and Tori on the edge map, but still in a bit of a tough position. I would say what I would do if I were the survivors, I'd try and play smart here, and I'm trying just get one generator done. It's not realistic, I would say, that you could get another generator done, especially with 2 survivors on Death Hook here. But I believe Tori just activated the second win off hook. That is a broken status effect, and that means that will be completely fully healed in around 20 seconds. But we actually do find our Death Hook Serena injured on the edge map, and so it'll just be a quick down and probably kill onto them. So it's really up to the survivors now to see if they can get that edge map generator finished before the nurse gets there and can start applying the what do you call it? The the regression. Yes, the regression of the 25% base kit and the 5% immediate 5% on the generator regression, which does seem to be the case. We do get the kickoff, and we did see, I believe, 2 survivors there, but maybe wrong because maybe JD disagrees and so sees only 1 survivor. But actually opting to also erupt this generator at main. I'm not really sure why they are trying to uh, leave that generator with such high progress. And they especially saw scratch marks there, so if you just got it down next to the generator and then just slug to find the last survivor, I think that would be more wise because now there's potential for this for that edge map generator to be completed if this stealth does indeed come through onto this other edge map generator. Now, again, if I were the survivors, I would be playing really safe here, and keep the open comms to try and stealth out the nurse as much as possible because in this point you cannot really be taking aggressive chases and you just have to try and stealth out the nurse while the other person on the edge map does stealth. But actually, Mallow does manage to get the third generator of the trial done, and I think that was also an activated sprint burst. There'll be no other like dead hard or other exhaustion available for them. So um, regardless, though, they managed to get the third generator completed. So this is very much better result than a 4K3 because yeah, I'm telling you 4K3 on Nurse is extremely difficult to get against a I would say maybe a team a more coordinated team because I feel like Hurricane here has played a little bit disjoint and kind of rushing the actions. I feel like um Adam there could have been sitting on hook for a lot longer and the rotations could have been coming in. But unfortunately they did die at 3 gens, so it is difficult, but they managed to bring it back to a 4K2, which is much more achievable. So we'll be looking at probably I'd say a clean 4K2 here for our nurse. And what was I gonna say before? I was gonna mention something about Sanctum of Wrath, which is coming back to it. Yes, Sanctum of Wrath is a weird map because our Shack actually in comp callouts, Shack is in weird positions on this map. Shack, I believe, you can call Shack either 2 or 7 or 5 on this map, which to me makes no sense. And I don't really, I don't really want to try and figure out which location Shack is. So I'll just call. Uh, I'll avoid trying to use clock callouts on this map. As much as possible because it's quite likely I'll muck them up. But actually, JD, just deciding to go for more here. I'm not sure why entirely is the case. Hooking is probably faster, but anyway, it's a Mori coming in. It's full stages acquired for JD for Bleedout here on the nurse. So we'll be looking to see if Hurricane can meet a 4K2 tie condition or if Bleedout can achieve better on their own set just after a short intermission. Welcome back, everybody, where we'll be seeing who will take the first set of Bleed Out versus Hurricane, which actually just before we saw Bleed Out manage to achieve a 4K2. So if Everyday Pizza's nurse can get a 4K3 or better, they will be taking Bleed Out set from them, which is usually, we would say in the tennis match, pretty good. So anyway, we'll be we'll be finding LV Duck very early, and I think this will be quite an early down onto LV Duck, who was a spin burst survivor, but with a flashlight, so unlikely to be Deliverance unless Bleed Out was trying to pull off a mind game there, and so it will be quite a fast hook onto our ace. This is very good very good first down for our nurse, and that came in very early. But um, as we have a bit of time to discuss before our nurse goes to do something interesting other than looking around and checking for the unhooker, just as we have our short little break, we'll just discuss the build that Everyday Pizza has, which is pretty I'd say also a pick which I've seen before, but I was going to say pretty standard 3 perks, which are the Eruption, Ruin, and Corrupt, which again, I will have to re-emphasize, has been a lot more of a popular choice coming into comp, I believe, in 2024. Um, yeah, in the 3v1, I think a lot of people, after the Pop nerf, a lot of the comp players decided that Pop wasn't really that good in the 3v1, so they decided to switch out Pop for Eruption and Ruin, which to me, I think I do agree works much better in the 3v1. So I would agree with that choice. And the last perk, Thrilling Tremors, is a nice information perk, which also block generators, so it will punish team for being less efficient. But we do see Burrito here, I believe, go in for a 1-for-1, and actually does manage to pull it off even with the 300 ping difference. So good for Burrito that they do know that it's possible, but LV Duck will be sprinting away with the sprint burst, and see if our nurse can find him, but I actually don't know if. Oh, we do see LV Duck. This is Edge Mac. I believe that's actually Lucky Break, and no, it's not Lucky Break. But that's actually a very fast second down onto LV Duck, but it was not fast enough to deny Burrito their Unbreakable. So they do manage to get Unbreakable off, and LV Duck managed to get the decisive strike off, which I don't really think was a great usage in this situation because he was already dying edge map. So if he were to go down again, there's not really many places for him to go elsewhere. So unfortunately, even though the decisive use, I don't think it was worth it. You could always preserve decisive strike for the second usage. But again, that's my opinion. I like to preserve decisive strike. It's a nice psychological thing for us survivors, or for the killer. It's kind of like a blow to them. But actually, we see two generators get completed for this. Our other two survivors must have just been sitting on the generators on the other side of the map. So um, good efficiency from our survivors here, as this is usually what you want to be doing against nurse anyway. Send in the deliverance survivor, rotate them into the side of the map which the first down happens, or even rotate them early, so keep them in the area where the first down happens, and then the other two survivors, of course, bug generators on the other side of the map, trying to break, of course, any kind of 3 gen on their side before the tunnel out will hopefully be able to manage to reach that position and go die there. So then when our survivor, so when they're being chased, then the other survivors can go work gens on the top side of the map or bottom side of the map, which there should still be a 3 gen of, and yeah, etc. Whatever. But this is why I was saying decisive strike being preserved probably would have been quite good for survivors, because LV Duck here, if the decisive strike was up, they would have been able to perhaps make the shack side of the map, but now it's gone. They only have sprint burst available to them, so they'll be spinning away to Shack and taking probably the last chase. I don't think Everyday Pizza here can afford to chase anyone else, and that is exactly the case. As LV Duck does go down, edge map in the Shack area, which is again good for our survivors. They can start getting percentages into that I'll just say top side, and into that top side 3 gen or even 4 gen, as it seems like, since main is pretty close to everything, and this other generator on Shack side is a bit further away. So I'll say 4 gen. So Everyday Pizza now actually going to commit to the scratch marks that they saw, and just will completely lose that after looking around. So I would assume that they're just going to be rotating back to the 4 gen, trying to defend this, because if this 4 gen is broken, it is quite likely for our survivors to be able to get the win condition, which is 4K1 for our survivors. But we do find Cyan here, just on the Tory Kane. We saw Tory Kane run in with our Venato here to try and get an unhook onto LV Duck as they were dying on hook. So Cyan here, I can't really take a guess at what perks they have, but definitely not Sprint Burst, and probably not Overcome either, because usually you put Overcome on Deliverance if it's not on Sprint Burst. So actually, maybe that was Overcome or Live. Anyway, whatever. Actually, we'll just be leaving Cyan here and trying to find wow, trying to find Burrito here. A little bit out of position, trying to. Oh, this is not Burrito. Okay, this is Latino Quentin. Sorry, a South American Quentin. I mean, so this is JD here taking the next chase and tag. But um, we'll be running, of course, the shack side of the map, and it seems like Everyday Pizza doesn't want to chase this. Again, trying to secure this 4 gen, because that's all they have left now, since that other generator just got popped. So if they can defend this 4 gen successfully, it will be the tie condition met. But again, it will be a bit of a tough ask now, because they kind of lost. Um, they don't really know where anyone is, and they don't have any information perks to help them. And we do see the reset onto JD. So I would assume that now the plan for our nurse is to try and hold this choke point, because I would say that the 3 survivors, which of course they're all healed now, those 3 survivors must have reset on the area of the map which all the generators were completed. This is because you need to play it safe. If you get down in the 4 gen, you're kind of playing a 2v1 at that point, because the nurse will just be camping for while camping the generators. So indeed, we do find our Tori trying to cross into our generators, and so we'll take a tag and try and head back to the choke point to see if we can find any signs of life. But anyone trying to rotate for this again, this 4 gen here, but actually did seem to get a little bit of a ruin regression onto main. So checking that out, we do see scratch marks from, I believe, JD again running over to this temple kind of tile here, and actually doing some prediction. No, this is not Venato. This is Cyan here, which is injured, uh, trying to go down, of course, as well, trying to preserve the the chase as long as possible, but going down in the shack area of the map, so well done. But Everyday Pizza here, not deciding to pick up, which I think is a bold move, and trying to, and it was a bold move. It was the correct decision, but unfortunately came too late because the double onto this generator has come through, and that will be a 4K1 for our survivors at the minimum if somehow Venato can get out of this position, which could possibly be the case. We've not seen Unbreakable come through yet on any survivor, so it is possible that either Cyan or Burrito here is unbreakable, but I think it's too late for Cyan to be unbreakable, and it is indeed Burrito uh, being unbreakable and the deliverance. So they will get picked up, and now they'll probably be trying to stealth or try and rotate for the pickup onto Cyan now. And I think Everyday Pizza has now kind of lost a lot of momentum from that unbreakable, because if you try and commit JD here on the edge map and then down them, then it's possible that Quentin here can just pick up Cyan, which is in fact the case since Cyan was down pretty close to Shack, which JD was just before. And now we're kind of in the same position as before, but now survivors do have a little bit more time to try and split up and stealth, because we kind of knew where JD was, but now we didn't really know where Burrito was. But actually, a reset onto Cyan comes through, so they still have to be in the Shack area. So of course, Everyday Pizza will just be holding the blink and trying to again find signs of life of two upstanding or just standing survivors. But we don't see anything. So no signs of life. Maybe the lack of signs of life could be an indicator, because of course crows are a good indication of where survivors are or have been. But the crows have not been telling Everyday Pizza anything. We saw the crows spawn quite normally and nothing disturbed, so they're not around there. So they could be anywhere by now. And yeah, now I think Everyday Pizza's kind of lost a little bit of momentum here. We can see that they're just a little bit timid over 3 gen as well. Just making sure that no one is hopping on that for any free progress, and actually managing to find a healthy survivor trying to go for an unhook here, but missing the double blink to them. So I'm not sure if it will be enough time for Burrito to get any meaningful progress on the generators. But do manage to get an unhookers. Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say I thought Burrito going for an unhook was a little bit bold, but it was Cyan who somehow managed to just hide behind the rock there and then double back and get the unhook. So we do find Burrito though, working the edge generator. Don't think he will last. I don't believe he would have any exhaustion to work with. Light is kind of useless, so there's no window to work off. So Spin Burst is gone. Dead Hard is, I guess, available. But, well, we didn't see it, so no Dead Hard, most likely. And so we'll just be picking up Quentin here. This was a Deliverance Survivor, so we've already gotten that out of the way. And no nasty surprises incoming from Quentin here. But I'm not sure if our survivors are deciding to reset here. I think what I would be doing is I'll try and 99 the reset, and then try and 99 both, and then try and double heal just to conceal the actions, make the nurse worry about gens. But actually, the mystical check down there, we do see. Oh, that was close. We do see JD running off in the distance, so we saw Cyan as well. So we know both are here, and JD's has to rotate the unhook maybe, or maybe not. They're just stealthing somewhere. So yeah, Nurse will just hold this. Oh, actually, they saw scratch marks, but maybe missing out on that. I think. Oh, maybe I'm blind. Okay, so maybe that was just a bit of the map sporting in some red stuff or textures. But yep, this is the position we were talking about before. You have like a hook in the 3 gen, and then if you again the unfortunate case where you have to try and cross, the nurse will just hold the point, the choke point, and if you try and cross, you will always BC. And now because they have kind of committed to the blink onto JD, I would have normally assumed Cyan would rotate in, but of course, very good patience from Cyan, not rotating early. So not being caught out by the second nurse blink, which will allow JD to stealth for a little bit before running into oh nope, never mind, it's Cyan. With scratch marks, we'll just be going down. I don't know if there's much left in this game to play out. It's now 2v1. No real kind of like second chance perks available. Second win, I won't count the second chance perk. So I mean, yeah, this game's done and dusted. 4k1 most probably. And solid performance by Bleedout, I would say. They did manage to get that extra generator done in the 4gen, so well played. Good efficiency at the start as well, being able to split two generators for pretty much two hooks, I would say, onto ACR before he died. Then the third generator popped. Actually, no, he died and then the third generator popped, and then they were left with this nasty 4gen. And Everyday Pizza was not able to hold it. Perhaps our survivors playing a little bit risky, going for the double, but did manage to work out since Nurse was not able to down Cyan and slug them and return to the generator in time. So, we'll be just acting out this last little bit of the game where we'll play Where's Venato Lyra. Venato is one of the more quiet survivors, even when injured. But oh, we do find scratch marks. I think when Venato runs, I think he does make he does have like these slippers on, so a little bit easy to tell uh, when he's running. It's kind of like a I don't know, kind of reminds me of like Ada's footsteps, but yeah, we'll be hiding in the corner trying to pick LOS, but not well enough because yeah, not really much else there he could do. So Bleedout will be taking off this nurse set from Hurricane, and we'll be going into the next match. Will be Death Slinger actually, which is a very rare pick, but this is indeed the killer set which Hurricane picked. So we'll be heading into that very shortly to see if Hurricane can manage to take a comeback onto their own picking, their own set pick after we go to a short intermission. Welcome back, everybody. Now we're into the Deathslinger match, which is Hurricane's pick. We'll be seeing Everyday Pizza's Deathslinger. This is gonna be scary, right? Because they picked this killer, and we can see the build as well. We have Blood Favor, uh, Scourge of Pain Res, Corrupt Intervention, and you see that top perk there? That is one of my favorite perks in the entire match. Okay, now he's playing 3 perks. But that is one of my favorite perks in this entire game. We have Whispers on the Deathslinger set. Can you believe it? We have Whispers on a comp game. It's crazy. Now, the last time I remember seeing Whispers was 50 million years ago when Zeno used it in a Plague match. But in this game, on Azrael's resting place, it will be a little bit... It's a little bit... you know, more understandable to bring Whispers, since with Whispers you can tell when Survivor is crossing a little bit easier, because if you do get the Whispers proc, you will be able to tell that Survivor is crossing. But we do get a nice tap onto JD here on Shack side of the map, which I believe was not in the cup area. So this is pretty good for him. This is pretty good for Everyday Pizza, since there probably shouldn't be any gens which have high progress at the moment. And actually, Everyday Pizza will also be looking to hook in the basement. Just as I say that, we see the first generator pop. That must have been a double generator. And unfortunately now, Everyday Pizza is kind of playing with 2 perks at the moment. Because Corrupt's gone and Blood Favor's gone. And so we still have a Painless in the pocket, in the back pocket, and Whispers, which is still active. So he knows someone's within 32 meters of his current location. Because the way Whispers works is, if there's no one, if you're more than 32 meters away from a survivor you know is there, like the survivor on hook, then you definitely know that someone's within 32 meters of your current position, which does get value here. Does find LV Duck stealthing on edge map 5 here. I'm trying to go for the unhook onto JD, just if Everyday Pizza were to overcommit onto top side of the map. We do see a pre-drop of the jungle gym come through. Now remember, these survivors are playing on high ping, and so thus playing against the Deathslinger might feel a little bit miserable. But a nice shot from Everyday Pizza will force LV Duck to go into the mending state. Now, what I think our survivors are looking to do right now are to try and pop these topside generators, and then try and go for a rescue mission onto JD. But it's going to be a little bit more difficult because LV Duck is currently in the deep root and injured. So it is actually not not a bad idea to just let JD die in the basement. It would be a lot of resources for you to commit. Be at least 2 health states to try and get him out of the basement, and also be a lot of gen progress gone. But it does seem like they want to do this because we see 2 pairs of scratch marks on 2 different survivors, and we do see this is Cyan and 6 Hearts, the uh, the owner himself of this league, playing on the PUBG Dwight Fairfield, pre-dropping the Shack pallet to make sure that he can get the unhook onto JD successfully. Now, Everyday Pizza now getting bit of the brain now now has to come in, try and get the successful body block onto JD to force the sunlight. Of course, if that's not the case, that will be and this is I think guaranteed death because of the chain will force JD to not be able to move at all, and this is the problem I was talking about before. This is a lot of resources committed to try and get an unhook, which was not really successful anyway because JD a nice usage of the the Redeemer will just pretty much force JD to be eliminated from the trial. But we do see the generator and the top side pop. So not not and another generator as well. Not completely dire situation for the survivors, but I feel like they could have avoided this by just sitting generators patiently and just letting JD die, I would say. But it's kind of worked out for them. They've managed to pop the top side 3 gen, and now they just have to work on trying to pop this bottom side 3 gen here, which is a little bit spread, and they still do have I think a good amount of resources left, and we do see LV Duck and Sign Reset as well on the top side, no doubt, and yeah. Oh, we do find 6 Hearts stealthing. This is the Whispers again coming in clutch. This is why I love Whispers as well, because just at random times you can get this kind of like game-winning information, which again will be a 2-tap onto 6 Hearts here as he goes down in the 3 gen. So very nice usage of Whispers here, being able to secure pretty much 3 health states at this point. 2 onto Ace, sorry, 1 onto Ace when he was stealthing for the unhook, and then also 2 onto 6 Hearts, finding the stealth on the edge map. But Whispers is still active, and I believe maybe this is 32 meters away from Hook. I'm not entirely sure, but Whispers is still active, so someone's in this area, and oh, now it's turned off, so no one's in the area. So they just probably are someone's sitting that topside gen, no doubt, and someone's trying to rotate for the pull, and Whispers is of course putting in the work there, letting Everyday Pizza know that someone should be in this area anyway. But yeah, we'll find out pretty shortly because I think Everyday Pizza will have to eventually check on his 3 gen. So when we do see that, we'll know whether our survivors are still stuck on the top side of the map, or if one of them has managed to successfully rotate to try and break the bottom side 3 gen. And yeah, we'll just be applying a little bit of pressure, threatening to take a Redeemer shot onto our survivor behind main. Before and it does seem to be the case because an unhook does occur onto 6 Hearts, and this is kind of a bit of a this is a bit of a choice for Everyday Pizza to make. You could take the down onto Cyan here, or even the slug onto Cyan here, but at what cost? Because now we've lost 2 survivors in our 3 gen, so we could be anywhere at this point. They could have even rotated back downside, and so I'm not entirely sure if this hook is going to mean a lot, except the Paymers, of course, which has already been used once on 6 Hearts and will be used again onto Cyan if this is a Paymers, which I assume it should be. And it is indeed a Paymers in the top side, but again, to me, I'm questioning how important that topside 3 gen is, that topside generator is at 12, because although yes, maybe it's a 50%, realistically, this position is going to be that a 4K1, I would say, if he can find a survivor with Whispers on the edge map, and we do indeed find someone on Shack. Good usage of Whispers there, of course. I like to time it with Whispers if the walking distance is around 8 seconds, then that means that the survivor is around there. Whereas he was definitely closer than 32 meters to the generator, so there was no one on that generator, so good use of Whispers, being able to track the 6 hearts at Shack. But now, here we're going down again in the 3 gen, and this is, again, not what you want. LV Duck and Science still have not reset yet, which I find quite strange, because if you do really want to go for outs or just 4K 0 at this point, you do need to get a reset in and attack this bottom side 3 gen. But since we don't see anything on Whispers, I think our survivors are just pumping out the top generator, and Whispers will indeed confirm this, because at no point during this rotation to the top side has Everyday Pizza gotten a Whispers proc. So yes, we do see the double onto the generator get confirmed, and actually a nice, oh, that was beautiful quick scope onto Tori here, but actually unfortunately will not be able to secure the down due to not bringing in the the prison chains, which was a meta slinger add-on until people kind of started to realize how like kind of broken the cigar was. I think cigars like it's one of the most fun add-ons to use, I'd say, because when you do get value from it, it feels really good. But of course, the cigar will reduce the the stun animation, or the stun time of the slinger when the chain breaks by, I believe, 1 second. So it's a really good zoning tool. It's like it goes from like a 4-second stun or like a 3-second stun to like a crazy short time, like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. So it's a really good zoning tool, and a lot of the time when you shoot a survivor, they're gonna be like healthy anyway, and if they're injured, you can like secure it down onto them. But so the cigar has been quite meta for quite a while. And of course, the other add-on is the reload time, which is of course the another very nice add-on to use. But 6 hearts will take the death onto a hook at 7 here, and I would assume that our survivors can pack their bag, call this a 4K1, and get their killer player, who probably is going to be JD, to mentally prepare them for the task of trying to meet a 4K1 tie condition, which Hurricane is probably setting at this point, because I don't think Tori will be able to do anything from this point. Again, there's not really any second chance perks allowed against the Deathslinger. There's no like unbreakable or deliverance, so there's no nothing that our Deathslinger should be worrying about, as long as they have the survivor on hook and they just check that the generators are not obscenely progressed. Then yeah, it should just be a clean 4K1. And yeah, we do see Tori stealthing around Shack, just waiting out for maybe to get Hatch if that were to spawn in time, and Ace were to die. So be a clean 4K1 for Everyday Pizza. Very nice showing of their Deathslinger skills. Also very nice usage of Whispers, but unfortunately not being able to get any value out of Blood Paper at all. But be clean 4K1 for Hurricane here. So Bleedout is looking to try and get 4K1 as a tie condition. If they can steal this, it will be a 2-0, but it will be a bit of a tough ask, because I think Everyday Pizza has performed quite well. So JD will have to do something quite special if they were to try and steal this set from Hurricane. But of course, we'll be seeing that after we go to a quick intermission and a short break. Welcome back, everybody, to what could possibly be our last set for this match here, because Bleedout is up 1-0 against Hurricane, and now we'll be seeing if Hurricane survivors can actually meet a 4K1, or perhaps do better than our Bleedout survivors did last trial. Because yeah, they managed to get 4K1. Very impressive stuff by Everyday Pizza. 4K1 on the Deathslinger, and now JD is going to try and see if they can bring it home for Bleedout, which is going to be a tough ask. But if we look at the build, it is quite an aggressive gen slowdown build, where we see again 3 regression with the corrupt, and that was actually a really nice shot over the tree logs and little garbage on the what I would call a strong bus, and actually another really nice shot. Oh, man. I mean, JD is just popping off with the shots, but the ping doesn't help, I have to say. But yeah, Everyday Pizza and now Veggie are now being tagged on the bottom side of the map, and we do find marks of yet another survivor, but oh, it's just so 1v1 hanging out at mid, and this is just three tags given for what I would say pretty free tags given, but it has been 90 seconds and we haven't seen Mallow yet, so have to hope to assume that they're resetting a survivor or they're going for a generator on the top side of the map. But Everyday Pizza is the one that JD is now committing near this rock filler and actually taking the pre-vault on the pallet. Unfortunately, there's not really much you can do on the ping, so pre-vaulting the pallet and JD just predicting that and wins the 50-50 and Everyday Pizza will go down on the top side, on the bottom side of the map. But JD actually wants to bring the hook top side. I'm very confused as to why this is the case because we know that there are three survivors on the bottom side and actually getting punished for this play, reading the pain resonance on the mid side, and well, yeah, Tori will just wiggle off, and this is I was gonna say a bad stuff for the survivors, but a little bit of time waste as well for the killer. So at least they've managed to get little bit of time back from this start, which I'd say is quite horrible. You don't want to be giving out free tags like this against Deathling or well any killer, but in this case, you're going for a 4K1. You just want to play your average game, and you should probably be able to perform better than a 4K1 as long as you don't make any erroneous macro mistakes or like bad rotations or caught stealthing anyway. But JD will be applying the Pop Goes the Weasel onto 11 generator and just heading back to hook, just chilling in this position. So 1v1 and Veggie still stuck. Actually, I was going to say still stuck on the bottom side of the map, but we see blood there. So there's actually Veggie here on the Zarina and dropping a 5-pack, I believe, but also getting a pre-redeemer shot around our main building corner. I'm not really sure why JD did this, but it did manage to work out for them. Actually, just will be slugging Veggie to go for the tunnel out onto Tori here, and actually doing the same, doing the same tech here, where just taking the redeemer shot onto the unhooked survivor, and then just waiting out the 10 seconds borrowed time, and just slapping them back on the hook. So it's quite a perilous situation for our survivors to be in, but at least they managed to get one generator down. This is so 1v1 on the bottom side generator, just cranking that out while all this kerfuffle was happening on the top side. And in this time, I think JD is now just again looking for Nancy here, the only healthy survivor who has to be around here for the pull or the pickup onto Veggie here because yeah, again, if Everyday Pizza just dies here without any kind of compensation, then Veggie will just get picked up and then oh, it just crawls into the open. Okay. I think JD is just sniffing the air to see if they can find a stealthing Nancy, but doesn't seem to be the case. So just again, content to hover around the hook. As Everyday Pizza just ticks down towards the last seconds of their game, I guess, because they will be eliminated just in around 5 to 10 seconds, and it does seem to be the case because no signs of life have been found from Nancy. So, Nancy could be anywhere at this point. They could even be working a generator, and so 1v1 has also probably been working a generator in all this time. So if they've been just splitting generators, they'd be on 2 gens quite soon. But the speeds are dead, and also Veggie going into the going onto the hook, which is now not the case because Nancy get a pickup. Now we just see Malo just get 2-tapped down with the cigar add-on, which now gets a very nice value. But they'll probably be put onto a painters, and again, this is not the position you want to be in as a survivors. I feel like again they just gave out a lot of free tags at the start, and then the gens were kind of slowed down because of that. You pretty much have to reset tags if you want to try and cross the map. Because if you get found out of rotation, at least you can take the hit speed boost and the cooldown to rotate properly to the other side of the map, which you just came from. But a reset actually comes onto Veggie here, and that means that the two survivors probably are around the bottom side of the map trying to get a double reset. But maybe they've split. Wise decision here, but I feel like if they hadn't have fully healed Veggie here, JD might not have had the incentive to push so far bottom side because it was going to be completely possible that one of them was just working that generator just in the distance and the other one could have been stealthing mid-map to the ball. So I think 99 in the heals there would probably have been the better play because JD would not have been able to hold this very aggressive position here for so long. Actually, we'll be able to find So 1v1. Actually get the shot through the window as well. That was a very nice shot there onto So 1v1, putting him back onto the injured state and heading back up the map just to make sure that Reggie is not getting the last second pull onto Mello here, which is going to be the case. We actually saw our Zavini here, Mello, sorry, Reggie here, try and go in for a save onto Mello, but again, I don't really think that was the correct play because now, because of the ping as well, the 300 ping means that the trade doesn't even occur, and now So 1v1 is the only survivor left standing, and without any like strong second chance perks like Unbreakable, you're probably not going to be able to get out of this position. I think it's going to be perhaps another Pain Resonance or um for JDK. I'm not entirely sure if this hook was a Pain Resonance, but we'll see just in a bit whether if it was or not. But even if it was, really, it wouldn't have mattered because Ace is the only one standing, and he could not really be uh, working on a generator for quite long. So I think Hurricane will need a miracle here to keep this going because I don't think with one health state, I don't really think it's possible to pop two generators. And we do see blood here on the edge map of 9. So this will be Ace taking the final chase of our trial, and this will actually be the 2-0 victory for Bleedout, taking the Deathslinger set by surprise. Actually, I think Everyday Pizza did play the Deathslinger quite well, but it seems like our survivor side on Hurricane had kind of taken a bit of a stumble and giving away a few free tags, and JD will get the nice quick shot onto So 1v1, and yeah, maybe it's a Mori or just a pickup. It seems to be not wanting to waste time uh, and just getting the hook in. So, clean play from JD here, just taking advantage of the mistakes played out by the survivors. But nevertheless, Bleedout goes up 2-0 against Hurricane. So I think again that this kind of surprised me because I quite liked how Everyday Pizza played the Slinger set, but it seems like just Bleedout played it better. So they take it 2-0, and yeah, I guess. What else is there for me to comment on? I guess in the nurse set as well, I think it was quite a close set. We had a 4K2 from Hurricane Survivors, and Bleedout managed to double the last one of the generators in the 4 gen, making it a 4K1. So it's quite close. Then I think as this Singer set is much more clear on who is playing better. So. Hmm. JD just probably just mucking around now, just waiting for the survivors to die. But I hope you enjoyed my coverage. I've been Tavi casting these matches, so hope you have a good rest of your day or night, and we'll see you later with more games in the future.